Hi, my beautiful people. So I'm getting this message, an intuitive message, that you're scared of falling in love. You're afraid of falling in love and being in a relationship. Perhaps because you have gone through a series of bad, unhealthy relationships where you were mistreated. Maybe something happened in childhood, but I feel like you've gotten to a point in your life where you're actually not wanting to be in a relationship. You're not interested. And when you dig deep enough into that feeling, it's because you're afraid. You're afraid of falling in love. So I want to validate that for you in this message and maybe put words to your feelings about maybe what your fears are around love, falling in love, and what Spirit has guided me to tell you, like advice. And I also want to say that I totally feel you because I relate to this feeling and this message. And so this is what my soul was calling me to talk about today. And, I dug deep to see like where this is coming from and what the solution is to this. And I have answers. So I feel like you're afraid of falling in love because you're afraid of losing yourself. You're afraid of becoming consumed by this relationship and this person. You're afraid that once you fall in love, you're going to lose your freedom, your independence, your authenticity, your autonomy, your inspiration, your creativity, this life that you've built for yourself, this person that you've built yourself to be, that somehow love will take that away, that somehow love will make it worse and not better. And this is coming from a association with love as being painful, that love does take from you. So this comes from past relationships, right? Where this has happened, obviously. This is trauma. Maybe this is what happened in childhood. You were never given the love that you deserved. You were never seen for who you are. You always had to fight for love and chase love and earn love. And now you associate love with attachment and obsession and fixation, and you're not free, right? Even if you lean more on the avoidance side, right? This is more anxiously attached, but even if you lean on the avoidance side, it's all similar trauma. It's just, it's played out in different ways, but it's still losing your independence, your autonomy. Like you're going to be smothered. You're going to feel suffocated. And so in either case, there's this association with love that it takes from you. It doesn't add to your life. That you can't be better when you're in love, Some other fears that you might have around love, and I did take notes while I was meditating before this video to kind of like get the messages out, but some other things you might be afraid of are that you're going to be taken for granted by someone, and that, as years pass, that they're just going to start to take advantage of you or not see your worth or not see your beauty and just start to treat you as not the special being that you are. They're going to take you for granted, right? Another fear you might have is that they're not going to see you for who you are. They're not going to inherently understand you, and you're going to end up with somebody who just doesn't get you. Maybe you have a problem with not being gotten, right? Not being understood, not being seen, especially if you're resonating with my videos. Definitely you feel that way. And maybe you have this fear that they're going to diminish you or disempower you in some way, or you're going to feel small or unsafe. Okay, very negative associations that you have with love is what I'm sensing. And the message that I got from the universe is that the way that you view love is not coming from this state of oneness and love, right? Unconditional love from your pure true source energy. The association that you have with love is coming from fear. It's coming from illusion. It is coming from separation, but it is valid. It is something that you have experienced. This is how you've experienced love. This is what has happened in the past. And so this is now your belief around love. But the universe wants me to tell you that it's not true. It's not accurate. This is a fear. This is fear, and it is a projection of the past. That these are situations that have happened in the past, and you're projecting this onto the future, and you think that this is how the future is going to be based on the past. Totally normal, but this is what's happening, okay? And so Spirit wanted me to talk about the importance of shifting your perspective around love. Because I feel like you have this belief system that love is pain, love is disempowerment, love is imprisonment, and that love is not expansive and, amplifying and safe and secure. Okay, that it doesn't add to you, that it takes from you. So this is at its core based in a flawed belief system around love and relationships. So that's number one that you have to acknowledge within yourself, is that this is in fact, how you associate to love or what you associate love with. So it's like having a more like empowering, positive perspective, even though you don't know what that feels like. You might not know what that feels like to be with someone who actually makes you feel this way, who lifts you up, who, validates you, who loves you unconditionally, who treats you right. You might not know the full extent to, well, maybe you've had glimpses of this experience, right? Maybe you've had people who have treated you that way, but you don't know it in its full expression. Okay, and so there's a lot that you have to imagine here. There's a lot that you have to, go and envision, and or maybe watch other couples that have that and get examples from them so that you can be like, okay, it is possible. So there's a perspective shift that needs to happen around love. And yeah, so these feelings that you have about love, they are coming from trauma. And it could be these relationships where love wasn't given to you freely, okay? Love wasn't safe, where maybe there was betrayal, there was abuse, there was neglect, there was some sort of abandonment. And so you have learned to not trust love. But the very important thing that Spirit wants me to tell you is that it's not that you don't trust love. What it comes down to is that you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to be able to have discernment, to cut somebody out if you need to cut them out, to walk away and detach if it truly isn't working for you, if someone's mistreating you, to stand up for yourself, to speak your needs. You don't trust yourself to listen to your intuition. You don't trust yourself to, make good choices and attract the right partner. And above all, you don't trust yourself to be there for yourself and to not abandon and neglect yourself. So it comes down to this fear that you will actually abandon yourself, because if you truly are honest with yourself and you look back to your previous relationships, you'll see that you have always abandoned yourself. You have always left yourself and chose the other person over you, gave to them, met their needs, made sure they were okay. You became what they needed you to become. You became obsessed with them, you put them on a pedestal, and you didn't matter anymore. And so they, of course, reflected that back to you. You don't matter. Obviously, you don't even think you matter. So in the past, I feel like you have neglected yourself. You have abandoned yourself. And so these people also abandoned you. That's where this comes from. This is why I feel like you have attracted people who have abandoned you, is because you have never known how to choose yourself. But I do feel that you have been healing this. You have been working on this. You have been, learning how to have boundaries, learning how to honor yourself, how to listen to your soul, how to choose yourself, how to show up for yourself, how to be a safe space for yourself, how to love yourself, have respect for yourself. You've been working on your self-worth. I feel like you've been doing so much inner work. And so now it's kind of getting to a point where you don't want somebody coming in and fucking all that up for you. Right? Like, you've done so much healing and you're like, I don't want someone to just take that power away. You feel good, right? Another message that I was getting is that you are thriving right now, like that you don't even really want to be in a relationship, right? It's like you're really happy, you're thriving, you're glowing, your life is going well, okay? You're expanding, you're focusing on your dreams and your goals, you're so excited about where you're going in life and who you're becoming. I just feel like you're in really good energy where you don't even want to be in a relationship. You don't even need a relationship. But you think eventually you'd want to be in a relationship at some point, and that scares you. The idea of being in this relationship still, there's some fear underneath that. And so that is what I felt called to talk about, because, you can be in a good place all day long, but and you could be happy being single too, maybe you don't ever want to be in a relationship and you're just happy to be single, and that's totally fine. But I feel like you have to be honest with yourself about, are you single and are you not in a relationship or never want to be because it's truly genuinely a choice that your soul wants? Or is it because you just are afraid that someone will take your power away and you're avoiding it? Is there avoidance and fear? And I feel like you're the type of person that wants to live true to your soul and wants to honor yourself. Again, the message of abandonment, you don't want to abandon yourself. You want to listen and be like, what's really going on here underneath, right? So I feel like when the thought of relationship comes up, you definitely still have some sort of resistance around it, okay? Yeah, I feel like this is because you've developed some sort of flawed idea around love. You have some sort of negative belief around what love is. The other message that I was getting, okay, and this is so empowering, but I was getting that like, you've been doing the work, right? Like, you have been healing, you have been working on yourself, like you have been transforming. And I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit of where you actually are in your life and how you would actually be in a relationship. Like how empowered you actually would be, and how many, how strong of your boundaries would be, and how much you would be strong enough to walk away if someone's mistreating you. Like that you wouldn't be that same person that you were in these past relationships that let everything just happen because of all the healing you've done. And there's no way that you can't, like, there's no way that you would attract someone like people from your past with the new energy that you're in now. There's just no way. That's the law of attraction. It just doesn't happen that way. And if you were to attract some sort of bullshit person, you would immediately cut them out. Like maybe you already have, maybe you've been dating and you've experienced people, and you immediately notice red flags and you're like, this just feels really off, and then you're just done. And I don't even think you're giving yourself enough credit for just how much you're doing that and how strong you are, And so I feel like if an actual person showed up in your life, like a potential partner or soulmate or something like that you wouldn't even display these old patterns of attachment or insecurity or, just being obsessed with them and putting them on a pedestal and neglecting yourself. I feel like you would naturally be drawn to a partner who empowers you, because that's where your soul is. I feel like this is where your energy has elevated to, where you're just so soulful and you're like, I'm not this old version of myself anymore. This is who I am. And when you meet someone that sees that in you and matches that energy, you're attracted to it. When you meet someone who doesn't see that, there's a natural repellent, whatever. Like you repel them, Like that's what I'm saying. Like I just don't even think you realize like how much you've upgraded and how successful you would be in a relationship. So you might surprise yourself at how secure you've become. You might surprise yourself at how love can be expansive and empowering, and that you could actually be with a partner who sees you and celebrates you and puts you on a pedestal, and in like a healthy way, and treats you really well and gives you space, but also is secure and safe, and you feel secure and safe, and you don't want to like neglect yourself because of this person, because it's a healthy relationship. Like I just think that you don't give yourself enough credit for how much healing you've done and where you're at in life, and how great falling in love could actually be. That it could actually be something that it's supposed to be. When you see people falling in love in those healthy relationships, where they still have their community and their friends, and everyone still has their own life, but then you still have your lives, and it's just you just see that it's healthy and safe, and there's chemistry still and all of that. That is possible. That is love. That is how love is supposed to be. That is how relationships are supposed to be. And I think this message is coming through because even if you're not ready to fall in love right now, okay, even if you're not ready to be in a relationship right now because you have your own stuff going on, you're doing your own healing work, and that's totally fine. But when that day comes, when this person shows up in your life, I feel like Spirit wants to prepare you and get you ready for accepting them into your life and welcoming them with open energy, and not this wounded place of, holy shit, I didn't even look at this fear that I've had this whole time around love because I've been avoiding it and I've been distracting myself with my own singleness, and living my life free and not having to deal with that. And so you've suppressed all of those fears and these blocks. And then this wonderful person shows up in your life who's all the great things, and you are projecting all of these fears onto them because you haven't worked through this, So you're being called to work through this now while you're single, while you're not necessarily looking or ready or whatever. Work through this now. Start to change your perspective now, to start to see this differently now. Make peace with it. Do the healing work. You know what to do. You've been doing it. Do the healing work that is required to shift out of that energy, so that when this person shows up, you are ready to receive their love. You are ready to receive this relationship, because there's not going to be this huge block that comes up that pushes them away and fucks things up. Because I feel like you do eventually want to be in love. I think for most of you, that's how you feel. And the last and final message is that it's a reminder that you manifest your own reality. Okay, so at the end of the day, it does matter the types of thoughts and beliefs that you have around love, right? Because if you continue to tell yourself that, men are not safe or women are not trustworthy and that's just the way it is, and that's what you repeat in your head, that's probably what's going to manifest, right? So also be careful about like your beliefs and the thoughts that you keep repeating about relationships and love, because you do create your reality. Okay, so this is where you need to take your power back and ask yourself, what is it that you do want? If you do eventually want to fall in love and be in love, and you don't want to be scared, you want to be in a healthy, happy, expansive, empowered, power couple type of relationship, then I think it's, you know, it's time to shift those beliefs and those perspectives and just try to visualize this connection that would be the best for you. What do you imagine yourself being able to handle, and what is it that you want? What is it that you want? What do you want? Who do you want to be with? You know, how do you want to be in a relationship? And just truly ask yourself those questions and tune in and visualize and imagine and make peace with that fact that that's possible. Find peace and safety in your nervous system when it comes to love. I feel like the ultimate message here is love is not supposed to be scary. It's meant to be amplifying, glorifying, like adding value to your life, and that it is such a beautiful thing to experience. And I feel like there is a love for you that you're meant to experience, some sort of divine love. That's why you went through everything that you went through. All of the lessons, all of the heartbreaks, all of the bullshit that you went through in the past with regards to relationships, and now all the healing that you're doing is not for no reason. It's because you're meant to live a life where you genuinely feel whole, where you feel in love with yourself, and you also get to experience that beautiful love with another. You get to experience that divine love with another person. You get to share that energy, because it is one of the most beautiful things on this earth that we were given the opportunity to experience, is love with another. But it starts with love with yourself, which is exactly what you've been working on. So just keep doing the work, and I hope this message brought you some peace and clarity and it resonated with you. Please let me know in the comments below where you're at with this. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It does help me out a lot, and to get this message out there, and leave a comment. And if you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I do offer one-on-one tarot readings. I'm also a tarot reader. I have another channel for that. I'll leave all the links to that below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.